This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, this is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. And if it's Tuesday, first of all, it's Giving Tuesday. Always give the arts, support independent filmmakers, artists, museums, libraries, small businesses, women-owned specifically those writers, directors, and producers of a small movie, but a great movie called More Than Santa Baby. But she's more than that. So before we get into our guests, I got to thank Annie Jeeves, the publicist, because Annie gives us great films. She's always good. I don't think she's ever had a bad film. Matter of fact, I was thinking about The Vial. I was thinking about 40 Watts to Nowhere. I was thinking about the first black hockey player that she gave me years ago. She may not even remember these movies. She's done so many great films she's had in the past. But Carol, let's talk about who you are. So Tamar knows who everybody is. But first, okay, live on Talk for TV, K4HD Radio. I can't even talk tonight. Yes, I was out in the cold, and it is still cold here in Northern Illinois, and I'm leaving tomorrow. But without that and all the other stuff going on, always streaming on over 100 outlets right now, including Worldwide Women's TV, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, and on over 100 outlets right now. Okay, Carol, we can go to you. Go ahead.
Thanks, Brian. You know, we women love the men who support us so fully. As you know, and as I will share with all of you here tonight, I currently run 5 businesses, or am actively involved in 5 businesses. I run a private invite exclusive group mastermind where I take women to seven figures. I also co-host the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast. I have a free book club called the Worthy Book Club. And I have retreats down in the Andes Mountains in southern Chile. I've lived there and the States back and forth for 12 years. So I'm super glad to be here. And I'm super thankful for Give Back Tuesdays. I also sit on the board of Better Vision for Children. And basically, I'm here for you. So thanks for having me.
And so including about who's here for us. So Rachel, did we get your sound going?
Yes.
Okay, good. Tell everybody where you are, especially in Houston, Texas. Go.
I'm in Houston. Well, you just did it. I'm in Houston, Texas. And I have a little morning show called Coffee Talk, and I'm a content creator now, and that's a lot of work.
She's more than that. She's a good cook too. She's got delicious food. I can't wait to go back and have some more. Linda Steele, you haven't been with us in a long time because you've been busy, but I'm glad you're here tonight. All right, all the way from Chicago. I'm in your cold ass state, Linda. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It just turned cold. It was beautiful up until about this week. But yes, I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I am my resume is just getting larger, but I'm a personal trainer, a wellness advisor. I am a best-selling author. My book, Nerves of Steel, it hit international bestseller within 24 hours of launching back in 2023. Yay. I hit a number of different categories, women's health and business and women in business and so forth. So it hit a number of different categories, number one, and it was such an honor. So I was really excited about that. But after I wrote my book, I started working with at a gym that I actually did a little flip with. They were suffering some financial losses, and I came in and I did a gym rescue, and we are now making money, and they're thrilled. So that's going to be probably my new endeavor coming up, and I can't wait.
You know, that's not the first time that you had to come in and repair something that a guy ran. You know,
I've been owning and running gyms since 2010, and I've owned several of my own. I've started other businesses for other people, and it's just something that I love to do. But my personal training is my number one passion, but I'm really starting to get into the business side of things because I'm really good at it and I love it.
Yeah, you are good at it. All right, so Howard Wiggins, we never know, from Brentwood, Tennessee. You know what? Yeah, I can't wait to see you tomorrow night at CMA, so that's a good thing. All right, Howard, let's see if we got sound on you before we go to tomorrow. Go ahead, Howard. And he's got a little delay. I knew it. Howard, can you hear us? He can't. He can't. I knew it.
Howard, do you want to do your intro? Howard, he's amazing. He is absolutely incredible. Not only a profound dancer, top 35 interior designer with a unique style called Stacked and Layered. Howard is incredible in the way he sparkles and brings life and joy to each and every one of us. So follow him. He's got some amazing projects in the work right now.
Howard, did we get your sound?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, maybe we have.
Can you hear me?
All right, tell everybody who you are, because Carol just did a little intro for you. You're normal. Go ahead.
I heard that. Okay, I'm Howard Wiggins. I'm one of the top 35 leading interior designers. My father helped start the Grand Ole Opry, and tomorrow night I'm going to the CMA after party, which I saw you post some pictures on. So a little later on, we're going to have some great pictures of me and probably some stars to look at. So I'm looking forward to it. Wish me luck, and I'll have a good time.
Yes.
Anytime you're on, I wish you luck that we can even hear you, because we just never know half the time, whether it's storms or whatever's going on. And, you know, and tomorrow, his house, that's all authentic art in there. He's had it since the age of 16, I believe. And he's one of a kind. He's got all kinds of things going on. All right, so, hey, we got to get to you because this film is too important. I'm glad you've been at a bunch of film festivals, and you can never get tired of talking about you and your dad, can you? And it's More Than Santa Baby, isn't it? And I'm sure you had a bunch of great people just come up and say, it's about time that someone did something on your world-renowned father, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That'd be great.
Oh, no. Did we lose her sound? We might have just lost her sound. She can hear us. Uh-oh.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm going to have you come out.
One of those
come back in. Oh, yeah. So, you know what? Hey,
Let's
Rebel.
talk about Tamara. I mean, it's super exciting to have her here, right? And, you know, Brian, talk about what her dad did. He is 99 and going strong right now.
Wow.
Absolutely. And it's More Than Santa Baby. It's won a bunch of awards for Short Films Festival. I saw it at Dances with Films. I was honored to meet her. I believe it was sold out. Yeah, it was sold out. And I was surprised because I didn't know what I was seeing. You know, sometimes I walk in and I see things going on, and you know, all of it's More Than Santa Baby. I'm like, okay, I'm staying for this film. And it turned out to be her film, and people loved her film. Hey, and did we get your sound on you back again?
Can you hear me?
Yes. It is going to be one of those shows, but we always have. Sometimes
right.
We start slow and we end strong, so that's a good
I'll just
thing.
go out and in if it happens again.
Absolutely. So we have these images of this. Let's talk about this. Why is this important? This film is great. It's exciting. It's educational. It's engrossing, and it's enthusiastic. And I love that. And so you get the 4 E's from Movie Reviews and More. You don't get any better than that. But the thing about this, I'm glad that you've gone around with this, because I think you were just in New York and some other place too. Talk about that.
Yes. So I was in the last 10 days. I went to Santa Ana, to New York, to 2 places in Alabama, Fairhope and Gulf Shores, 2 different screenings. And I'm very happy to say that in Santa Ana at the Old Town Film Festival run by Dan Parks, it won Best Documentary Short. So that was thrilling. And then at the Fairfield Film Festival Fairhope Film Festival in Fairhope, Alabama, which is a really beautiful place, it won the Audience Choice Award. So that makes, and it received the Audience Award at the world premiere screening that Brian saw, and also an award for Best Sound at the Marina Del Rey Festival. So, we're I guess, heading somewhere.
That's a great thing. Talk about how exciting that is when audiences see this movie that they probably knew nothing about, and to see that you, the daughter, directed it, because that's very rare.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I mean, it really is a crowd pleasing film. I mean, you feel the energy in the audience, and a 32-year-old friend of mine who was at the premiere walked out of after seeing it, and she said, "Tamar, there's something for everybody in this film." And really, it is a multi-layered story, and I meant that intentionally. There's a very kind of above the ground aspect of it is, this guy is known for Santa Baby, a worldwide Christmas standard, but he's written so much more than that. And this film takes you through it's really stepping back in time, and it is a walk through music history. His career is adorned with legendary artists of the 20th century and today. And it takes you through many, many genres and idioms of music through his career path, which is over 80 years. I mean, he started really in high school to work as a professional musician. And, the music history is sort of one layer, and just his particular music catalog another. There is a father-daughter element. Obviously, I am telling the story along with him. And there is a father-son element in this movie. And really, truly, this story is about perseverance, hope, resilience, and the message is never give up. So there really is something for everybody. And, I think it's a little bit of a surprise because it's sort of, in a way I'm coming out of nowhere, but it's definitely received well on a grassroots level.
Nice.
So Linda, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. How did it feel for you in this whole process of making this film for your dad? How did that feel to you?
Well, it felt, a lot of things if we're talking about feelings, because the journey of his life and his career and his music, which really is his life, is very up and down. There's a lot. You go on an emotional roller coaster, and the audience goes on the emotional roller coaster. So for me, I lived that roller coaster growing up. So making it, I felt, all the feelings. I felt elation. I felt the pain again. I felt the disappointments that were along the way. And I also felt sort of some of the triumphs that came in his 9th decade, in his 90s. So really the emotions are a little bit all over the map, but I feel that it's a very real journey. And if a person doesn't shy away from it, you really go through sort of a sample of it's a very poignant life story.
Wow.
The good thing about this is that we never just have one person on, because we have so many people that want to be on, but it was special enough. You are special enough because of all the stuff that you did, all the hard work that went into this to have you by yourself. And I told Annie that, and it was a last minute because we had someone else booked 4 months ago for this. I'm like, I think this is perfect.
He never
for her.
does this. Yeah, he never does this. And
we don't have the space.
From the moment he saw your film, like as a movie reviewer, he has been talking about it nonstop ever since. So,
well, Brian, you're my new best friend.
I hear that a lot, but that's the good thing about this. Hey, Linda Steele, you haven't been on in a while. This is important because did you get a chance to see the movie?
No, because the link didn't work.
Ah, okay.
And I'm so bummed about that. But But the fact that, can I say a couple of things, Brian? Is it okay?
Yeah.
So when you're talking about it, and you're talking about, you know, the life's ups and downs and so forth, it goes along with life itself. I mean, everybody knows that, you know, when you see a successful person, outsiders think it's just like this, but really it's not. If you look, I mean, it's like in and out, up and down, highs and lows.
Like this.
There's never, it's, yeah. And I mean, and I think we all can attest to that. It's just, and so it's great that you were able to, you know, show that, because like I said, outsiders, they look at it at a successful person and they never see what goes on behind the scenes.
That's true. I mean, you'll hear people talk about that and they're saying, yeah, it took me 20 years to have my overnight success.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, one thing I just want to talk about the song, Santa Baby. You know, not everybody loves the holiday season. Not everybody loves Christmas. Happens to be one of my favorite holidays, and it's very special to me. My father actually passed away on Christmas Eve, so you know, for a few years it was not my favorite holiday, but it really, you know, this is when I get to celebrate his life. So I've always loved the holidays. It was his favorite, but you know, so with it not being everyone's favorite holiday, isn't it great that music is the one thing that typically will bring all of us together? And his music is some of the most iconic music ever out there. You must be so proud of him. What was it like growing up knowing that he made such an impact in people's lives just through his music at a time like this?
Yes, I mean, it's very special. And people, you know, the nice thing about it is it occurs every year. And, you know, so you sort of bring that cheer to people. And I can't take credit for that. I didn't write the song, but, you know, I have worked on, you know, his promoting him and his catalog and you know, really all of his music. But Santa Baby does tend to be, you know, the talking point. And it feels great. You know, when the season starts, I get a lot of emails from friends that say, it's always the first time I heard Santa Baby, you know, I was in the season. So I'll get an email like that, you know, I was in Macy's or I was, you know, somewhere, and I get a little anecdote, and it's very sweet because the excitement is there. And I think the song sort of in a way brings that.
The song is timeless. It's absolutely timeless.
Yeah.
Hey, talk about the connection of your dad and Eartha Kitt, Elvis Presley, Howard. You know, would always his dad it's world renowned and famous. Obviously, the Grand Ole Opry, things like that. And so both your dads are iconic for what they did, and I'm sure one way or another that they intermingle some kind of strange way. It had to happen.
It's a small world. They had to have.
Right. You never quite know.
Yeah.
Well, Eartha Kitt was, you know, probably one of the most important people in my dad's life. And also Joan Javits, the lyricist of Santa Baby, my father's co-writer. They were a writing team, really a new writing team. And Joan got the assignment from the publishers to write this Christmas song, they were discussing it, you know. And she said, well, look, I'll do it. I'll sign the deal as long as Phil Springer's my composer. And they sat down in a room, the publishers and Joan and Phil, and Joan said, how about Santa Baby? And they all loved it. And my father felt like, you know, this is impossible. How do you write a Christmas song for the sultriest emerging star in America, which is what Eartha Kitt was at the time? She was so sexy and so, you know, like a little provocative and very uninhibited in terms of who she was. And it did come off, you know, it was a very sultry sort of persona. So my dad said, how do you know, that's impossible. But they came up with the title and they went and they wrote Santa Baby. And there's a little more detail in the film, which I don't want to spoil. So I won't go too far into that. And, you know, it worked. And my father and Eartha Kitt stayed friends for life. They were in touch. She recorded 2 other songs of his. One is Oh John, and the other is Love and Spree. And Anne Margaret also recorded Love and Spree, which is gorgeous. I mean, I love that song. And so, you know, I met Eartha a few times. We met in a recording studio with Eartha's daughter Kit, my father and myself, and we recorded a version of Santa Baby with my dad at the piano and Eartha singing. That was in 1999. And then I went and saw her a few times in her cabaret shows here in Los Angeles, where I am now, in New York. And they were always friends. I mean, they had each other's backs. It was very sweet. As far as Elvis goes, he wrote Never Ending with lyricist Buddy Kaye. And, it's certainly, even though it's not a tremendously known song in the catalog, Elvis aficionados seem to know it. It is played at Elvis events, and certainly being a little tiny piece of the Elvis legacy is a huge honor.
Howard, I see you want to ask a question. Go.
I actually know Eartha Kitt's niece. Her name's Vita. We're doing a cologne line, and I'm going to be modeling for her. And then her other sister was Ray Charles' backup singer. Was her mother, Vita's. So, it's a small world, like you said. You don't know who you're connected to, but you're only 3 people away from anybody.
That's
So,
right.
Right.
Right. And that's nice.
Hey, since we're on dads right now, Howard, talk about your dad. What's a favorite memory of your dad as you were a kid or as you were growing up later? Because you're finding out more things about your dad as you're older.
Well, since we talked about Christmas music, I'll post it tonight. There's a Christmas song called Shantytown by Eddie Arnold. And I was shopping in the mall, and of course I can recognize my father's steel guitar playing. And I thought, I've never heard that song ever. I mean, I was an adult shopping, and then there's my father while I'm Christmas shopping playing that song. But I'll post it later tonight for my Facebook fans so they can see it. I was going to do that anyway, since I'm going to the CMA. I was going to post the one with Dottie West and some of the other Opry members, and so that when I go CMA, I can pull those up quickly.
Hey, so Terri, introduce yourself. Let's talk about your dad. Your dad was iconic for working for Disney. If you don't print those posters and all those things that you had that I've seen in your house, you don't get any marketing done, right?
What was that about the marketing?
Yeah. What did your dad do, Terri?
Oh, my dad was the director of printing for Disney Studios. He was with Disney for like over 35 years. So I had a magical childhood. We went to Disneyland every Christmas. So the Christmas actually used to be the highlight of my life growing up. But now that I've lost both parents, Christmas is hard. So this is the first Christmas without my mom. So I just kind of want to go back to that. So I don't really know how to process this year, to tell you the truth. Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what to feel. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just, I can't
take a while, Terri. It's going to take a while. And some years are going to be easier than others. And there's going to be an explanation for it. I can tell you now.
Yeah. So my mom, because of her love of Christmas, I inherited all these really neat Christmas decorations, like music boxes and all that. I couldn't obviously take all of it with me because some of it I had to either donate or sell or whatever, but I took the pieces that I like. So I'm going to try to have like a small party, like with some of my girlfriends, just to kind of celebrate my mom, because that's the only way that I can celebrate all of her amazing things. And a lot of those amazing things happen to be Disney stuff, because for Christmas we went to Disneyland. But yeah, I come from, my mom was a publicist and my dad worked for Disney. So I've been around in their entertainment my whole life. I started, acting like when I was a little kid. So, I mean, I've always been around that kind of the entertainment life, but, going through my mom's estate, since my dad did the printing, I have tons and tons of like Mickey Mouse stuff and Bambi stuff and Snow White stuff and original cells from like all the cartoons and stuff. So one day I guess we could do a show just on that kind of stuff, Brian, if we wanted to go into the history of Disney and all the crazy stuff my dad did. But my dad also was an artist, and he started off as an artist designing checks and drawings. Like he did stuff for Wells Fargo and for Security Pacific was back in the day. I think it was Linton Press. So my dad like majored in advertising in college at the University of Arizona. So
the stuff that he did was iconic, Tamara, which is going back to Howard's dad, to your dad. So when
and Terri, it's going to be so cool for you to now create your own personal magic every
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
with
You know what? You
exactly
put
what-
on Santa Baby. You can never go wrong with that song, right, Tamar?
Yeah,
But I'm
Right?
saying,
that's right.
Santa
here's the
Baby's
thing.
been a song that I grew up with.
Well, when you're going and you're finding these things, when people have passed or when people are alive, you're like, huh, I didn't know this, or I never saw this before, or it has a different meaning, right?
Exactly.
Finding all of those things, Tamar, right?
And I'm sorry, you're referencing.
All the stuff that you found.
Oh, yes. I mean, vast volumes of content. Yes. I went through everything, and there was, an incredible amount of just volumes and volumes of, musical history, really.
Well,
Hey,
and
Brian,
that's the whole,
I want to shout out the Bikini Chef. She's in the comments and says,
Yay.
love these golden nuggets. Susan Irby, love that you're here.
and Linda's daughter. When Linda's on, I think half of Chicago listens, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm surprised your mom hasn't chimed in yet.
I'm surprised too. I don't know. She's not texting me back all day, but my sister's on. My sister Laura,
Awesome.
daughter Demi. I'm sure my granddaughter is watching. Maybe Kayla Ray is watching. Kendall's on a flight. She's on her way home from California right now, so I doubt she's watching. But yeah,
Well, here's the thing, and I always say this: we have a lot of. Oh, see, there's Taylor.
there she is.
We have a lot of people in the South that watch, because I talk to my friends in Alabama and Tennessee and in Little Rock and everything like that. It is great to hear when they play back the next day, and all of a sudden they start to do the research because they like what we're talking about. And a lot of times no one's talking about these things, and it's unfortunate. I'm so happy that you've been taking this cross country and winning. I know it's grueling, to travel, to hop on a plane, but once you get there, I'm sure you see that energy. You see those people lining up and buying tickets to see your screening. What's that like?
It's amazing. I mean, it's fun. It's rewarding. It's special. New York this year, a cousin came from Boston and a cousin from Philadelphia, and there were a few related cousins also already in New York City. And I saw some friends, but what was extra special about those cousins all getting together is that my mom passed this January. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
That's why my mom passed, same January, early January.
Yeah. So, and my folks were married for 68 years. So it was special. It was very comforting to me to be with my mom's cousins. And then a bunch of friends. And I love New York City. I was born there. I sort of feel like part New Yorker, even though I've lived in California most of my life. And, being in New York, our screening was just so meaningful because the backdrop of the story is largely New York. And a lot of the heart of the story is New York. And in part, one of the layers is it is a love letter to New York City. And, there's a song that I feel is a highlight about New York City in it. So that was amazing. And then going to Alabama, I have very close friends there in Gulf Shore. So I got to spend some time with them. And I went to Fairhope. And Fairhope was a beautiful, beautiful place with the most warm, welcoming, inviting people. And they treated me it was incredible. I just felt like, the color of the carpet doesn't really matter, but they just treated me like gold, and they loved the film there, and, got similar sort of commentary to, Brian, what you say, which, couldn't be really, there's no better understanding of the film than you have, and appreciation. And I felt like that was happening there in Alabama. And I also just love the festival. They did a great job, and I hope they'll invite me as a juror. And then good friends of mine rented a movie theater, invited their friends and their clients from their businesses. They have two very successful businesses, and they used the film as their holiday corporate event. And we had a Q&A afterward that was so meaningful. The conversations really sort of got to a kind of deep level, and it was just beautiful and very rewarding. And, I printed these 8x10s of the film poster, and I didn't bring them. I said to my friend, if anybody wants an autographed copy, let's get them a personal one, like not just best wishes, but their name. So now I have about 35 or more to get because people were so moved by the film and into it. So, the feedback and the energy was just great, along this path. And before that was Santa Ana, which was equally lovely, small, but lovely. So it's just been fun. And I hope it continues because, it's still on its promotional journey, and I'm sort of researching and kind of figuring out, where its landing might be.
What's the next step for you? Because I love these photos and they're important, especially when you're doing marketing. And I always tell people, you've got to have these. What's your dad feeling about this now? He's got to be, his mind must be blown about this.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that he's very thrilled and impressed, and I keep him posted along the way. So he knows what's happening. I'll call him and say, Dad, we won an award. Dad, and then I call him the next day, Dad, we won another award. So, I think it feels very good. One of the themes in the film is recognition. And, he's certainly getting some really beautiful recognition at this stage in his life. And I'll just dare to say what I feel a little self-conscious saying, but because Brian, you asked about next step, so I hope it continues in some film festivals. And I actually love this corporate holiday screening idea. Like I want to retain the rights to do that no matter where it goes. I actually have a conversation with the sales agent tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I'm not in a rush or, stressed about it, but it is Oscar qualified this year. And so if Academy documentary members are listening, please take a close look. And
that's why I wanted to have you on, because I know they're paying attention, because we got some of them coming up the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep talking about it. Go ahead, Carol.
Tamara, you were also a part of the rather large Dancing with Films Film Festival and the Big Apple Film Festival in New York, correct?
Yes.
Congratulations for taking those steps to promote your film in those film festivals.
Thank you. It's been a real honor to be accepted, because I have learned along this journey, not coming from a film background, that, it's not so easy to program a film in a festival, and then a 39-minute short is also a bit of a challenge. So for those festivals that bring it in and appreciate it for what it is, I'm so truly grateful for that.
Yeah.
I always tell people it's not easy getting in a film festival. People think it is, and it's not. You've got to shift through hundreds, if not thousands of films. And I would watch them from beginning to end. And yes, they did. And some of them won't acknowledge it. They have a 10-minute rule. And I didn't believe in that. And I still don't like that. You should watch it from beginning to end. I've gotten down films that I absolutely hated and done push-ups and setups in the movie theater just to get through it. So if I can do that, you guys can struggle through it, because you just never know who's going to be in.
Brian.
I am. And I tell these people, it's not easy to make this film. It's not easy to make your film about your dad and find all the stuff. Coincidence. You wrote it, you produced it, and you directed. That's not easy to do.
But what an honor. I mean, all of us, we all love our parents. I mean, if I could do something to honor my mother or honor my father, I would love to do that. How fun for you to be able to do this. You are very, very fortunate to be able to do this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I do feel fortunate. I do.
Yes.
Hey, what was the reaction when you went down south? Because they played us a lot. And I've been to their Christmas parties. And Howard, we've been to Holiday Fest and in Nashville, Tennessee, Henderson, Tennessee, and they're playing it all the time. And I'm thinking about, who's singing this version? I never thought there would have been a movie about it. So each year, this should be played around the world, no matter what, because this is a worldwide movie that people need to see.
Thank you. And I hope that, that's what happens. One of the executive producers, Steve Gandolfi, he's an Englishman. And I wish I could, mimic his accent, because it's so cute when he says this. But he says, and if you can imagine a British accent, they're going to play it every year this Christmas, or every Christmas. It should be played every Christmas. It's just the cutest thing on the planet. And, although there are many levels, as I mentioned, Santa Baby is, the biggest tie-in, the biggest draw, the biggest hook. And so, yes, it is definitely a strong association with this season. And I do hope that, it's one of those things that plays every November, December.
Hey, Howard, who's the other person that sings that's got a big, huge Christmas song too?
Brenda Lee. You talking about Brenda? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about Brenda Lee. Go for it.
Well, Brenda Lee's godfather was my stepfather. And I know Brenda Lee's daughters. And one story I like to share on that, the tour buses used to come by the house. And I used to watch out the window. And when the tour bus came, I went to get the mail so I could have my picture made. And I was talking to Brenda Lee's daughter. And one of them said that she did the same thing. But when the tour bus came, she went and got things out of the attics to sell to them. And I thought, you're better at it than I was. I didn't think to do that. So I thought that was a cute story. But honoring your father, I'm up in age too. And to me, it's when you get older, we all want to leave some kind of legacy behind. So when you're giving to your father and creating his legacy and passing it on down, that's the biggest gift you could give to him. I think that's just wonderful, because that's all what we want. I mean, when it's all said and done, what do we have? Just a memory, and we want that memory to go on. So
exactly.
Thank you.
Hey, talk about the screening in Alabama. What was that like for you? Did they know that what they were going to see, or were they less pleasantly surprised? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, obviously the programmers knew, and I think there was a little buzz about it. They were extraordinarily welcoming to me. And when I got there, they had me do a coffee talk. They have these sort of famous coffee talks for 3 mornings in these coffee shops. It sounds like someone's familiar with that. I was so surprised. I thought, I was just going to go and be, watch, but they wanted me to be on the panel. And that was like just another honor and very fun. And so, I was received in, I felt important. I mean, and so there was buzz about the film before the community saw it. And I think, the people obviously were very moved by it because it did win the Audience Choice Award, which to me is the best award, because I want the story to connect with people, to move people, for people to sort of to know it, because I do feel like it's a walk through music history that's not that well known. That my father, that he was significant in that time. And through his journey. So I do feel like Alabama really embraced it. And I think maybe, in Los Angeles, where I live, you see a celebrity every 5 minutes, and there's film screenings every day. And it's not that big of a, it happens all the time, let's say. They're all important, but they're frequent. And there, it doesn't happen every day. It's not all the time, and that they have that, and that the filmmaker is there. So it did feel, very important to them and special. And my good friend in Gulf Shores, the one that did the private screening, he said, you're a big deal here tomorrow. You're a big deal. And my friends are big deals. They do a lot for the community. They're very involved. They help a lot of people. They're big deals. So, it was just very sweet, and it
really makes it extra special, like you were saying. Something that feels like a really a deeper level celebration, if you will. So. Yeah, I think that's such a beautiful experience. And, Gulf Shores and all that area is fabulous. If you have not been there on vacation, go immediately.
It's gorgeous. It's incredible. The beaches, the sort of elbow room on the lots, the houses, just a really stunning area where all of a sudden I realized I wasn't holding my breath. I sort of had to put my guard down. And it was a very tranquil feeling there, a very sort of relaxed way of life, although everybody does something, but just beautiful, beautiful place.
Wow. That's so beautiful. When you were digging deep into putting this story together for the film, you mentioned some emotional parts, the ups and downs. Would you be willing to share one of those parts that was really hard hitting for you, that brought up memories that were difficult, and how you processed through that?
Sure. I don't want to give away too much, about the film, but part of the story really is that my father is known for this, worldwide Christmas standard, but not for much else. And, I had to put together part of the film where we explore his pursuit of more recognition. And in some ways and in some parts of his life, that didn't happen. It happened in other ways, in some surprising ways. And another thing that the film makes you think about is that success doesn't always come the way you design it in your mind. It could come in a totally different form. And it's really important to be open to that, because you never know what doors are going to open and give you the feeling that you've wanted to feel. It just didn't come from what you wanted it to come from. So I had to go along that emotional journey. And I lived that emotional journey as a child and a lot of my life. And I think one of the reasons I made this film, a lot of my life, I just wanted more recognition for him. And there were parts where, he had a show and, you're waiting for it to be successful, or this singer might record this song and you're hoping it happens. And, there's a lot of that anticipation and then a lot of disappointment. And there was a lot of frustration. So I had to relive really all of that. And, there were painful moments. I cried a lot. I mean, because some of his music is so beautiful to me, it actually makes me cry. It moves me so much. So I had to go through all the emotions, and it in a way it was very cathartic, because I feel like, a lot of this story is painful, or some of it. And I feel like I made something artful out of that pain, and that, there's ups and there's downs. And I feel like, there's a lot of, we try to focus on the ups.
Yeah. That's
beautiful. Tamar, we're gonna come back to you, and then Coffee Taco, we're gonna come back to you too in a minute. I have to talk about this film, Number One Bad Dad. This is a short film that I saw, and it's really good. So I have to talk about this. Let's take a look at this.
El Daniel? Isn't this you?
God damn it!
I never knew my father, but only one of my mom's exes can blow a guy's hand off.
You gotta get out of here.
Hey. Let go of me! Wait! I don't want your autograph, bozo!
What the?
Now, the strange thing and the fun thing about short films is that there's not always a good trailer. Like Tamara, your trailer is excellent. It's good. It highlights a lot of things. This one is not a good trailer, but it's an excellent film. And so it's hard to sometimes, when they're choosing films to get into film festivals, like, what is this about? Is this good enough? Do we have room for it? Is this one better? And you have to fight for these things like that. And that's the challenge. But this little girl, she's a superhero, and she finds her dad, who is an ex-superhero, and he wants nothing to do with her. So what she does, is she goes, I'm going to show you. I'm going to make you love me, because I'm just as good as you are, if not better than you are. And so that's why it's called Number One Bad Dad. And then, there's a lot of good things that come around. But, the writer is a director, is a woman, and she did a great job with this. I just thought it was super sweet and then funny, because there's so many films out there that just don't get the recognition. And tomorrow, I'm not sure if you got a chance to see any films while you were at some of the film festival because your time is being taken and everybody's wanting to interview. It's tough, especially if you want to see something, isn't it?
Very tough. I feel badly because I like to support my fellow filmmakers, and I just saw the films in the block in New York. I saw the films in my same block. Dances with Films, I really made an effort to go see, on a few nights, a few films, and I made a few friends that way with a few of the filmmakers. So it's true, you're so consumed with all kinds of things when your film is in a festival. It's a little hard to get to too many screenings or many. My heart is there, though. I want to support all of the fellow filmmakers at these festivals because I know what goes into it, and it's really nice to be part of that community and support others' great stories.
And Dances with Films, no matter where I am cross country, I always want to make sure I go back to it because that's got the most energy. I mean, when I walked in, was it last year? I think I walked in last year. I'm like, why are there so many people here? What's going on? I forgot that I was in a movie theater because I'm not used to seeing that energy anymore. But Dances with Films always has it. And I felt bad for you. You walked out of the theater, you were getting mobbed, literally like you were one of the Beatles. And I'm like, I'm not even going to talk to her. There's too many people around her. And that's why I went up and said hi to you briefly. And I'm like, I'll catch her later on the rebound. And here you are.
I'm so thankful you did.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, they loved your film so much that they swarmed her. And I was happy for her, because it was a good film. And just seeing that reaction. And like I said, if anybody knows me, I sit in the back row so I can see everybody's reactions from the back of their heads. And then I will go out in the aisle to see if I can catch that producer, director, or actor, because that's the way to get their attention. And you don't always know if there's the publicist. Thank God that you have Annie because she's good. We got a couple of minutes left. So coffee talk, girl. Rachel, and the reason why I'm picking on Rachel right now, because, I like her show. I like what she does at Coffee Talk.
Thank
she
you.
Gets her butt off doing all these things. Don't you, Rachel?
I do. I get up at, like 2, 3 in the morning and, shoot Coffee Talk at 6. So by now I'm like,
It's way past bedtime. Yeah.
It's way past bedtime.
It is. But that's a good thing. And then, so Linda, congratulations on what you're doing, saving someone else's gym that was probably yours, that was really successful. And I know you.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, Linda.
Oh my gosh, it's great to see you guys. It's so fun to be back here. And Brian, I'm so proud of what you've done with the show. It's, when did I meet you? In 2017, 18, we started doing the show. And
she actually came out and, she went to a gifting suite with pink high heel shoes on. She just stood out like she was Barbie because she is.
She is.
But it was fantastic. And you know what? She's going in the documentary. You're going in, Linda, and it's going to be about your story, and you get a good job. You'll get a good time and have a good time to tell your story. And tomorrow, you know what it's like. Once you get a chance to tell that story, it's important, isn't it? And Howard, I'm going to get Howard's story told too, because his dad and his legacy is really important also.
Yeah.
And Brian, someday I need to tell my story too. Once this is almost over, because
you're a work in progress. But let me get Linda and Howard first.
I know.
And then we'll work on you. Hey, we got a couple minutes left. Tomorrow, what do you want people to see when it comes to see these films that haven't seen it?
What? I'm sorry. Say, what
do you hope the audience gets out of seeing this film for people who haven't seen it?
Yeah.
I hope that they connect to one of the various levels and that they are able to, first of all, enjoy the film, enjoy the journey. We go back almost 100 years and we're stepping back in time and going on this, musical journey, emotional journey, a family journey, a poignant life, a poignant life cycle is what we see. And I hope that people are moved. I hope that they connect to, one of the various layers or more. And I hope they enjoy it. I mean, I just hope that they feel good and they appreciate sort of, the journey that my dad was on, and that they can relate to it in a way that is significant to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Carol, social media links for everybody.
You can reach me at Neurocoach Carol on Instagram. And you can find me at Carol Register on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And I'm so glad to be here. Also, I want to mention I will be speaking December 1st and 2nd on toptalenthollywood.com, the Top Talent Hollywood event. And I would love for you to come. Yeah.
Terri, social media links.
Yes.
Terri Marie and nonstop on all platforms.
Rachel.
Rachel Roberts Recipes, or Rachel Ann Roberts.
Howard.
Howard Wiggins, Facebook, plain and simple.
And don't
Or
forget,
Howard
and find-
Wiggins Design.
And if you haven't met Howard, he's going to be at the Country Music Awards tomorrow, the after party. So look for him. He's not hard to find. Everybody knows who he is. He'll probably be surrounded by 600 women wanting to dance with him. That's how you find Howard. Linda Steele, social media links. I'm not
Linda
kidding.
Steele Wellness. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram. My Facebook account got hacked at like 500,000 followers. I'm seriously, all those Instagram.
And she's not kidding. She literally had 1 million followers at one point, and 3 times just her Instagram was hacked. That's why you have to always like and support my co-hosts, because they're wonderful women, including Howard. And that's a good thing. Tomorrow you get the last word. Give your social media links and where this film you think is heading next.
Okay, Instagram is at Santa Baby Composer and at More Than Santa Baby. And, Facebook too is just my name, Tamar Springer. It is screening December 1st in Palm Springs. So, the Palm Springs Cultural Center. That's an event that is a fundraiser for the center. So ticket sales just go right back into that venue, which is a beautiful place. And just follow Instagram, and, hopefully there'll be more information to share soon.
And that's why you support the arts. I hope everybody had a good time tonight. Hey, communication, it's always a live show. We never know what's going to happen, do we, Howard? And it's one of those things that we always just make it work. Huh, Rachel? Huh, Carol and Terri? And it's always good to have Linda Steele here, because I miss seeing my friend Linda from Chicago. All right, so got to thank everybody. I always say this: have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.